Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Where I feel like we're doing something different every day on this channel now. Take whatever trigger warning you need, expect the unexpected and all that jazz, because I believe in never saying never. I believe anything is possible. Yeah, anyways, here we go. So before I hit record, I usually try to meditate and just kind of center myself into the energy of whatever message is coming across. And this whole week, I was not able to sit comfortably in the energy long enough because there was so much resistance in it. And it was like they're showing me a snake trying to get the dead, the skin off, because a snake needs to shed its skin or it will die, in case you didn't know that. Like, what? And so it's an uncomfortable process, but it is necessary for growth. And it's still like the energy still right now, this is going to feel very uncomfortable, because the message is that it's time to do something uncomfortable that is necessary for growth. That will be different for everyone. I mean, if this were a personal read, could specifically go down a rabbit hole if you felt called to, but right now the spirals go infinitely outwards and inwards all alike, and they always do. So, and we're not going to direct it in any one direction. We're just going to generalize, right? There's another thing. I'm going to be eating on my channel. I'm going to be drinking on my channel. I'm probably going to start pacing at some point. I'm looking to make a new setup, because this sitting at a desk, what other readers do, does not work for me. I can't stay still. I'm pretty sure that I had like undiagnosed, I don't know if it's the hyperactive or just like attention, just because I was always out wanting to do something new. And that is where I thrived, because I could focus on multiple things at once, but it had to be in a way that wasn't cumbersome, that wouldn't weigh you down. And which now I'm getting a saying that I learned from another reader here, Flavored Vivid, Carissa. She says, if it's heavy, it ain't ready. She says, it goes, if it's light, it's right. If it's heavy, it ain't ready. So that just tells you so much right there, especially if you go through life experiencing it more through how you feel. If you're very heart-centered, you will know the truth by how it feels. And that comes when something is off. Like you'll start, your shoulders, you'll start to feel tense. You'll start to feel uneasy. You maybe even queasy. You just know that the direction things have gone in has now changed from what you truly wanted it to be. Whatever was truly coming from within you, that truth, that's the truth, because that's what's important, right? The only way we can learn lessons that will truly help us understand ourselves better, if you will, is by going through the things that are uncomfortable to us. It's like facing your worst fears almost, right? For me, that has... see, now I'm being put in an uncomfortable position. But this is my truth. Are you ready to hear my truth? My entire life, I've been channeling messages since I was a small child, since I could speak. And it got me into a lot of trouble, and it caused me a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. But it was not because of anything that I had done wrong. It was because other things around. Do you understand? We don't control the environment we're in. And we have to learn to just flow around that environment in a way where we can survive, to be honest with you. Which is why it is so important, as the gentle gardener of your life, when your garden is not flourishing, it's time to move things around, right? It is time to put things where they will thrive. And once you've been put through the discomfort of realizing that there was something making you have that discomfort, then you can take necessary actions to move out of said discomfort. But in that process, you're going to have to repeat the lesson over and over of what makes you uncomfortable. What really makes you uncomfortable, everything you truly believe is going to be questioned in that process of getting to the truth you seek. Yeah. So don't worry about being uncomfortable, because sometimes it's a necessity, and I feel like that's the message. Literally, something is coming that will put you in a position where you're uncomfortable, and you're gonna have to just say, okay, I'm here, I'm present, I'm aware, I know what's about to go down, but I'm gonna sit here and I'm going to allow people I'm gonna hold space for them and let them have whatever reaction they feel that they need to have. And I'm going to stay calm within myself, because I know that they're going to have this reaction, and I know that it's going to go this way, that way, or the other. And you just know. It's a place of knowing. But sometimes, again, it's the repeated thing. It's like smoke is ever rising, right? Because that's what it does. It rises. But as it's rising, the smoke swirls, it will curl in onto itself and continue shifting and going upwards, right? But that curling in, like a wave curling, the ocean curling back in onto itself, it hasn't stopped the movement. It is just cycling for the next wave, okay? So you're just getting ready for the next wave of growth, basically, because before we grow, we have to realize what it is that we need to grow from. Yeah. And that's always going to put us in an uncomfortable position. Depending on what it is. Like, if it's something we feel like, okay, well, I've got to do this. I know I've got to do this. Like, there's no getting around this anymore. Or if it's, wow, that's exactly what I thought I was going to hear. What if that's never happened to you before? What if it's like your first time ever of like, wow, I was right. I was exactly right. Everything that I felt told me that it was going to lead to this, and this happened. You can learn so much from that. Just from that acknowledgement. Message received, right? I hope this is making sense for someone, because, yeah, I just started channeling, and, again, to finish up my little story, my whole life, that's what I've done. And guess what? My whole life, people have told me I'm crazy. People have accused me of being all sorts of things that I was not. That for whatever reason, they had just come to this conclusion that, nope, you are this is how you are, and Nothing, there's literally nothing that I could have said or done to change that. And when you reach that point, like, it's okay. You like it is what it is. You have to accept things as they are. You can't force things, right? You can try, but there will always be that resistance. And the more you continue to force things, excuse me, the more conflict there will be. And the more conflict there is, the more it's going to force you to look at things that, you know, for whatever reason you don't want to look at. But if you don't look at them, guess what? It's going to amplify. The energy is going to increase because it is forever flowing. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be destroyed. It will just transform and come back in whatever way it has to make the message even clearer for you, so that you finally get it and you can have your aha moment and then be like, all right, well, this isn't the way I want to go, so I'm going to go this way and or that way or whatever way you feel like you need to, and that is where you gain that progress, and that's a beautiful thing. But there's something here about coming to the conclusion, like this is acceptance. Yes, okay. This is acceptance. Somebody is reaching acceptance. I just got one final hurdle. So there was one final hurdle for you, whatever that might be for you. But I can tell you that on the other side of that, it's very peaceful. Yeah. But first, whatever energy shift needs to happen, it has to happen. That's reminding me of oh God, what's his name? He's a pastor. He's really freaking cool. From the Elevation. But there was a video that a friend of mine sent me years ago, and it was exactly what I needed at that time. It's had the exact message that I needed for what I was going through to bring me that peace. And it came in a way that I wasn't really necessarily even looking for, right? Sometimes things happen in our life. Not sometimes. Honestly, it's magic. It's freaking beautiful. It happens everywhere if you're open. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, yes? Everything happens when it's time for it to happen. But sometimes what we need to learn is that we might not be ready to learn whatever it is that needs to happen for what we really want. And so we just had to repeat that cycle. But that's okay, because you know what? Now we acknowledge that we just repeated a cycle, and we can further break it down so we can get where we want to be. And that's growth, and that's beautiful, and it's magical, and it's transformative, and it is everything that we all ever seek. If we're being really honest deep down, right? Because we all just want to be happy. We all just want to feel free, be free, and whatever that looks like for you, right? It's different for everyone. That's why you see people who love different places of the world. And in those different places of the world, you'll find people who love different environments in those places, you know, or different regions. Some people just thrive in beach weather, and some people thrive in the Arctic. And yes, it's true. People can thrive anywhere. Some thrive in the desert and create magnificent things, you know, like miracles happen every day. And I don't know why this is important. I feel like you can thrive in the environment you're in. And so when you realize that the change is needed, right? So you need to shift your environment. You might not be able to shift it right away. You might need to do things. Maybe it's quite literally a move. Maybe it is something that requires more discipline on your part, or something that requires you to relax a bit more. Whatever it is, you will know for you, because that's what the work does. The work shows you the way. No one can tell you, yes, you need to leave your significant other because deep down you know you're going to end up cheating on them because you're not happy because of the X, Y, and Z, and you've already expressed that to them and they don't listen to you. You don't feel like they listen to you because you've explained things 1,000 times in a million different ways, blah, blah, blah. You're like, whatever it may be, like, you follow your own rabbit hole and you will find your own answers. Good luck on your journey, Alice. Have you stopped to look at the beauty at how you are doing things in a way that you're comfortable with now? Have you stopped to appreciate that you've been doing that yet? To thank yourself for the hard work you've done to get you in that mindset where you can be exactly what you need to be for you, to keep you happy, healthy, and whole. That's awesome. Maybe that's all you need to realize right now. Just take time to acknowledge that you've done great things and nobody else needs to tell you that. As long as you know it and you believe it, especially if you feel it along with all of that, then it's real, right? If it exists across multiple planes of your reality, it's there for a reason. Okay. It's bringing me back to my story. Okay. So, me being me has been made a lot easier by the modern world, believe it or not, because now people are dabbling in the esoteric so much more. How do you explain to people in conversations? There's no cell phones, there's no internet yet. How do you explain to people in conversations that you know the things that you know? Well, especially when they're things that are like way out of character of what people have assumed of you. You know? Other than books. I mean, that used to be the good old-fashioned way of showing people what you had learned, right? A book, a magazine, newspaper article, something like that, right? You had concrete evidence that, look, see? But everyone being so into this stuff has made it so much easier for me to feel comfortable being who I am because I've never needed tools to channel messages. And so many people will go, oh, you're foolish, you know? Okay. If they want to assume that, they can assume that. When we're walking in our truth, we get to a point where we understand and acknowledge that reasons and seasons exist. Yes? And things come and go like the wind, right? And like those waves. And when a random gust comes through, it can be a little startling sometimes, right? Rogue waves aren't exactly always fun. But things still happen. And they happen for a reason. What's that reason? It's to show you the truth. To give you clarity. Wherever it is that you're seeking clarity, or wherever it is that you need clarity. Now see, this is where the old me would have started pulling cards to like prove that point, to show, oh, well, look, I can grab 30 different decks and cards will come up relating to everything that I've already said. Do you believe me now? I'm not doing that anymore with people. So if I feel called to any decks, yes, I'll use them. But if not, I'm just going to sit here and channel. If I feel called to charms or one of my collected fortune thingies, then I will. And there's a bunch in here. Like, I'm going to show y'all. I don't think I've ever done this. Pull all these out of here. Oh. Some of them have like soy sauce and stuff on them, y'all. What can I say? Your girl likes to eat her like Chinese food on the couch watching TV, okay? Yeah, but there's like so many. I should probably fold them, you know, just so that they stay separate. Or maybe just crumble them a bit more. I don't know, so that they're not all so perfectly flat and like flawless, you know, because when they are, they stick together. And I really want, I want the energy to be free flowing, and you know, there has to be texture in life, right? There's something about that. Because I was thinking about that earlier. I was thinking about our rocks. How now it's like everybody's collecting all these rocks. But then I was like, but they're not collecting the actual stones. Like, I have here Amazonite. If I said that right. It's like Amazon and then ITE. So... Oh, sorry I cursed, but you know what? My channel's marked 18 plus. It is what it is. I'm so tired of like, everyone like, oh my god, you said a curse word. I didn't use the F-bomb, Karen. Leave me alone. I said crap. Leave me alone. You know, like, whatever. Anyways, this is a tumbled stone, and this is the same stone, but in its raw form. This is its true essence. This is not. Okay? There's something here about always having to be all polished. Or so polished. Like the polished look, whatever that is. Right? Like, that's not real. This is real. This is real, right? This is amber. Right? It's not super light and clear because not all amber is. Some of it is darker, right? But it's super light. It's super duper light, and it will melt if you put it over fire, so do not. But different stones, like they're different textures. Like this is amethyst in its raw form, right? Like there's something about being raw, being real. Look at this. This is still polished because it's supposed to be like a geotype. This is celestite. And see, it's just, there's something about the natural beauty of things, right? This is not a polished stone. This is raw. This is a Super 7. My blanket just fell and my legs are cold. One moment. I have the window open and it's chilly. Anyways, there's something about not having, you don't have to, please don't get mad at me. You don't always have to be so perfect. Life isn't perfect. Like, life is messy. Life is art, and art is messy. art is, have you seen a sculptor after they're done sculpting and creating something so beautiful? Their hands and their clothes, they're so dirty. The area where the clay was spun is filthy, but it's so beautiful because it's all the process of what they've just created. And it took that mess. It took really molding that clay. But it's like, not all of the creation process is like fire and, you know, like a sword being beaten, like the blacksmith beating it, right? Some of it is the potter gently sculpting, because if you put too much pressure, it's just going to collapse and fall apart. But in that natural state of flowing with how things feel, because that's how pottery works. You feel your way with what you're doing, with what you're creating, right? If you want to create an arch, like you're feeling your way and you're not putting too much pressure here or there. You're not going too fast. There's something about the flow. Maybe that's what you're learning. Maybe you are learning what your flow really needs to look like for you to flourish. And that's beautiful. And it's okay. Like, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. So that comment about you don't need to always be so perfect, like, really stop and think about it for a minute. Like, it's beautiful when we see someone who's just so accepting of life, you know, like, how can I explain this? I don't even know. It's acceptance. And I don't know how to explain that in words. I just know how it feels. It's something I've always given people, is acceptance, even if they didn't believe it, right? But everybody who's ever met me and truly had conversations with me and opened up to really talk about their truths with me, they know, right? Just like the people who've done that with you, they know, and you know about them. It's okay to be raw and open with people in any moment of your life. Because the more we repeat a lesson, the earlier and earlier and earlier we can catch it before we even go down a path that will lead us to making that same mistake again. And the more you know, the more you grow, right? So you'll be able to do better. There's something about that final push again. Just do as I'm told. Building blocks. What stays and what goes. That's what this card is about. Some of the blocks are coming to be placed in and some are being removed, right? Because you're at a deeper level of understanding of yourself, and you're seeing, my hair's too long. You're seeing where you've not necessarily fumbled the ball, but where you have allowed for things to go beyond where you knew you should have let them go. Place that had you up in your feels to the sea, emotions. And it's like, sometimes our emotions, the way that they feel, if you were to compare it to like something sea related, it would be compared to being on this like little freaking rowboat or life raft out in the middle of the ocean, hundreds of miles from any shore or ship, and there's just nothing but you and just that sea, that water, that emotion, right? It can be quite daunting. But that's when help comes in. Because see, part of those building blocks is acknowledging like, yeah, yeah, I could use help here. Do I want the type of help that I'm currently getting though from my environment right now? Do I really want people to continue to help me in this way? Do I really want to continue to help myself in that way? This could literally be as simple as realizing, you know what? I love to watch TV. I do, and I don't want to give that up. But I also want to be more outdoorsy. So you go hiking, and then when you complete your hike, you watch a movie on a little DVD player or something, right? And then you hike back. Maybe you go and you take your little camping gear and you set up and you have lunch or, a brunch or whatever. And then you pack your stuff up and you hike back and you get to fulfill multiple needs at once. Yes. More efficient build, right? It's a more efficient build. It's like a 2.0, right? Where you've now mastered everything that was glitching in the 1.0, and now you've fixed everything and you're ready to implement it. So you're going into the 2.0. Right now, you are implementing change. That's what this final hurdle is about. It's the implementation. You feel like you've got so much further to go than what you actually have left to go for the breakthrough. And doesn't that always happen? It's darkest before the dawn. Is there anything else from this deck? It is going to feel, okay. It is going to feel like everything has just stalled. You're going to feel like a ship dead. Are you a sailor? Hi, sailor. Anyways, I always had a thing with like the old school sailors. Anyways, whatever. I always thought those movies were really cute. Very romantic. And usually there were sailors. I don't know. Maybe it's because they were playing up to that generation. That was the boomers. Those were the boomers, right? Yeah, those were the boomers. I think they were. The ones who were like falling in love and shit in the like 30s and 40s. Aren't those the boomers? I don't know. Whatever. Are you from Jersey or up north? Truth be told. This is your truth. Your heart's truth coming out. This is the it's okay, how to explain this? This is what it feels like to experience manifestation, materialization in its earliest moments from a position of awareness. Yeah. I'm getting this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You're being yourself. You're being yourself, and it doesn't matter what happens around you. You're going to get some form of confirmation. You have a message in a bottle. Okay, this is for someone. I don't know if this is going to be for everyone, but you're going to get something that you wanted, but you no longer want it. There's a stork, and storks talk about new beginnings, but the stork has on a mask and he has a looking glass. So it's like you've received something that you wanted. So you literally manifested, but it is not what you're seeking anymore. In the time that it took for this manifestation to arrive, You have evolved past it. And that's okay. Don't feel bad for it. Don't feel like you have to take this manifestation now just because it appeared. You can say, you know what? I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to see this opportunity manifest. But this is not what I truly want. And take the loss. Because it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, Unfinished Symphony, before your frequency comes back to you amplified. And this keyboard isn't like a wave. There are highs and lows, right? It can't be all highs all the time. It can't be all lows all the time. Sometimes it's those lulls in the middle, and sometimes it's the climb, right? The climax. Would it be a climax? The climax of a wave climbing. What would it be called? What are the nautical terms? Somebody here has got, either you're like really, you know a lot about nautical terms, or one of your guides does. Maybe one of your guides it was a sailor, or was a sailor, or maybe a fisherman. Fisher of men. Don't get triggered, but this message, this feels like it's a message from Jesus for someone. Yeah. Something was meant to be. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. You don't have to have the answers in order to be happy. How do you feel about the changes you're making? How do you feel about what you're doing right now? I know you're watching this, but are you feeling bad because you're trying to do multiple things at once? Don't. If I were there with you and say you're at work but you wanted to talk, okay, cool. This is the time you've got, honey. Let's talk. I'm here. What's up? You know? And so don't make yourself feel bad for doing things in the way that works for you. The right people will understand. The right situations will present themselves. The right opportunities that will flow with you in beautiful synchronicity, right? Is there anything else? Which I'm 38. I don't think there's anything else. Life is sweet. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You know, old me would have criticized me for having a handful of jelly beans because I'm in the process of trying to lose weight. New me understands that if I deny myself a little handful of jelly beans now, it's going to be a bag of jelly beans and maybe some chips and something else like a week from now. You know your limits. You know what makes you explode. You know what sets you off. So in knowing that, it's up to you to self-regulate. It's up to you to set boundaries for yourself. What limit will I not go past? Because I know that once I go past that limit, it gets out of control. You do what you got to do for you. And you're not going to be hurting anybody. And anybody who, if there's somebody here that I feel like someone around you is making you feel guilty for being you, for making the changes to be an honest version of you. And if someone is guilting you for that, that's gaslighting. Look it up. If you don't know exactly what that is, look it up. That's not healthy. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not... What is that? I know it's this whole long thing that I always wanted to memorize, but for some reason I never could. Though I can tell you, O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, for if thou wilt not be but sworn... what was it? No, that was Romeo's part. For if thou will not be but sworn my love, and I will... No, for if thou would not be but sworn my love, and I will no longer be a Capulet. Juliet Capulet, Romeo Montague. If I'm so sorry if I pronounce those wrong. I'm not French. Bonjour. Anyways, yeah. So that's the message. It was interesting and different, but that's me. Right? Anyways, if this resonated, you know, hit the like button, give me a follow if you want to see when I upload other videos. I said give me a follow twice. If you want to see when I upload other videos, if you want to be notified, hit the little bell thingy. And once I get enough followers on here, if I stay on YouTube that long, I don't know. We'll see what life has for me, you know? Then I will start going live. Or maybe I'll go live on TikTok. I don't know. It depends. Wherever I get the followers for it first. Except Instagram, because when I go on there, there's never anybody on. It's like, what? How can this platform have so many people, but like nobody's ever on? And it's because they're watching other stuff, which is fine. So I'm just going to try another platform. For someone here, you are a creative, and whatever your genre of creation is, you need to branch yourself out to other platforms. I feel like you're focused too much on one platform, and so you are limiting your audience that's going to see your creative works, and you need to branch out more. Or maybe you need a network. All right. That's all. I'm going to stop now. I love you guys. Bye.